And next up at UFC Fight Night, Bautista taking on Oliveira. We've got Eduarda Moura taking on Cong Wang. Carlos, who you got in this one?
I'm going with Wang in this one. I'm not very sure how this is going to play out. Obviously we don't, but she has decent takedown defense. I think it's a little bit better than decent, and I think her athleticism is actually going to help her win this fight. I think Moore is just a little too slow. I think that striking wise, not that she's going to try to stay on the feet with Wang. I think that she's going to try to implement some takedowns. I just see Wang stuffing them, creating some distance, getting that separation, unloading a couple of shots, and then stuffing another takedown. Um, I think Mora's lack of wrestling. When I say lack of wrestling, I mean wrestling technique. She doesn't have the best technical wrestling. So I think that's what's going to help, that's going to make her struggle in getting this to the ground. And then I just think that on the feet, maybe she's going to get a little gas. Wang is going to be able to open up a little bit more, look for the takedowns, try to stuff those, and stay on the feet. I think that Wang moves enough, she stays long enough, and she doesn't really throw in combination. So she throws a strike, gets out of the way, throws a strike, gets out of the way. I think she does that. She starts to have success. She creates a little bit of space, and that's her road to victory on this one. I don't see Moore being able to keep up with her athletically with the speed. I just think that and even if Mora darts in and tries to sprint at her for the takedown, I could see her running into a knee or a punch or a kick or something. I could see her running into a strike. So I'm going to go with Wang for that reason.
Yeah, Moore's had success since she's moved up in weight. Obviously, there's no secret to the fact that when she started off in the UFC, she tended to struggle to make weight. She was pretty big for that division. Since moving up, she's obviously been on a 2-fight winning streak. And she has that heavy sort of wrestling base that she will just shoot and reshoot and keep having that pretty much that skill set throughout the whole entire fight. Even if she doesn't get the fight to the ground, she'll look to hold you up against the fence, stomp on your feet, Kamaru Usman style, beat you up to the thighs with the knee, anything that she can do to make the fight dirty. And that's the kind of path to victory she's going to have to show here if she wants to come out with the victory. Obviously, small cage over at the Apex, it definitely could suit her, but you have to think that that Wang Kong's kind of team and her whole game plan and her whole style since joining the UFC has kind of been preparing for people that want to take her down. High level striker. You have to think that she's been working on the takedown defense, and I think that's what's going to get her over the top here. I think, as Carlos mentioned, she is a mover. I think she's going to dart around on the outside, kind of poke, prod, and really just look for that, kind of sniper shot. Here as Eduarda Moura kind of, leaves openings on the feet as she shoots him for sloppy takedowns as the fight plays out. I do think here that there is definitely a path where we haven't seen Wang Kong taken down and held down. And what does that ground game look like once you get her there? And I do think that Moore could, shoot him for a double leg and then maybe, kind of change to a single, ultimately get the fight to the ground, and maybe we could be looking at a whole round there for Mora with heavy top pressure, kind of beating up Wang Kong there. But we have to believe that Kong's takedown defense is going to hold up. It's something she's definitely been working on. She knows that people are going to look to take her down, and there's no secret who the better striker is here. So the more athletic striker is who I'm going to go with. I'm going with Wang Kong here to get this one done on the feet, unanimous decision victory. However, I do think that there's a path to victory that we've seen and an upset potential here in Eduarda Moura to shoot him for takedowns, ultimately get one and win the fight with heavy top control in the small Apex cage. But gone with Wang Kong, not super confident though.